All right, we are back. My name is Jesse, and today we're going to do just a quick little video on this EG4 Hybrid Mini Split. I've had it for about 2 years, so it'll be a little bit of a 2-year review. I'll kind of just go over a little bit of the install, a little bit of cost of ownership, and just kind of my thoughts over the past 2 years. So I grab the camera real quick, and we will just take a quick look at this Mini Split. So this is the outdoor unit. I do have it hooked up to PV solar, but I also have it hooked up to the AC connection of the house. So when I first bought this, I only had PV connection. I didn't have this AC connection. I did this about a year later, and this Mini Split ran for the most part from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. As long as the sun came out, it ran on its own by itself. It turned on at 7 a.m., started pushing cold air, and then about 7 p.m. it started to get dark, and it would just turn off by itself. All throughout the summer it did that. And it would blow 50-degree cold air inside the house at different levels of strength. So in the morning at 7 a.m. it would turn on, but it would only blow cold air like at lower speeds because there just wasn't enough solar outside. But once you start to get around 9, 10 a.m., there was enough power from the 4 solar panels that it would start to fire, 40, 50 degrees at, max airflow speed, and it would just pump cold air max speed all morning, all afternoon till about 5 or 6 o'clock when sun started to set, and it would start to throttle down. And eventually about 7 p.m. it would get dark enough and the whole system would just turn off. It did that for months. I think I would probably say 6 or 7 months because I just had it hooked up with solar. I didn't have any AC connection. Currently, those PV wires actually extend all the way in a little trench to this array right here. We have 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 5 385 watt solar panels that I bought off Facebook Marketplace, and 4 of them go to that Mini Split, and one of them is hooked up to a microinverter that's tied into the pool pump that helps offset electricity to the pool pump. If you want to learn a little bit more about how we did that, I'll leave a link somewhere on this video. So come over here. Originally, when I first installed this, I just put 4 solar panels on top of my porch, and that was my first ever little solar array, and it powered just this Mini Split. So currently the Mini Split is running, and we will check real fast on the app. So I have two of these EG4 Mini Splits. One of them is a hybrid, the other one is not a hybrid. So I believe this one is the hybrid. So it's currently running. It is using 180 watts of PV, and it's using 19 watts of AC input. So my other Mini Split is also running. Come on. And that one is using 220 watts, all AC input. That one is not a hybrid, so there is no PV option. And actually, we can go take a look at it so you can kind of see a little bit of the difference. So this is the hybrid Mini Split. You could tell right away it's a hybrid because it has the MC4 connectors right there. And let's see what else this nameplate says. So it says here, there we go. It has our PV ratings here. It is a 12,000 BTU Mini Split. Some more 115 volts for AC. Now we will go take a look at our other one. So this one I built just like this little covering for it because this one got blasted by the sun quite a bit. And the other one over here has this like nice little sail shade, so it didn't get beat up as much by the sun. But this one always got blasted by the sun. But this is the other Mini Split I have. This one is not a hybrid, it's just a regular Mini Split, and you can tell because there's no MC4 connectors here. This is the communication wire, and this one is for this regular AC input. And this one is here's somewhere. There we go. So this one doesn't have any PV specs. Everything is AC input, and this is actually a 9K. This isn't a 12K, so it's a little bit of a smaller unit. So those are the outside units. So these are the refrigerant lines. The refrigerant lines are kind of routed towards the back, and they come up this channel here, and the refrigerant lines go inside the house, and they connect to the indoor unit. So we'll walk inside here. All right. So we'll turn around here. There's the indoor unit. I have it currently set at 70 degrees. We'll see blowing 52 degrees, 49 degrees. It's blowing about 49 degrees cold air. And for the most part, it's doing it all off solar. So for the next, I had to guess, 8 or 9 hours, it's just gonna pump 50 degrees cold air into kind of this living room, kitchen space. And that little mini split can easily cool this space down, no problem. In the summertime, when it's about 110 degrees, the very, very far parts of kind of this space over here, they're not as cold as the closer we get to this living area. But if I had to guess, this total space here is probably very close to about 700 square feet. So, and I want to say these 12Ks are good for about 500, 600 square feet. So it's a little undersized. If I could do it again, I would have got the 24K, which is it's a little bit more expensive, but got a lot more cooling power, and it could easily blast this area with cold air all day. And so this is our central air conditioning unit, which almost never turns on. It basically never turns on, actually. I mean, I run it during the summertime just to make sure it works and to kind of, just make sure everything is lubricated and running normally, just so it gets some wear and tear. But it's 72 degrees, and that mini split can, for the most part, keep this house at low 70s all day, no problem. And so the 9K I have over here is in this room, and it keeps this room ice cold, no problem. So I have this fan here, I'm blowing air into this room. Eventually I'll put a little mini split over here, but for now that's all right. All right, so this little symbol right here with the sun, I don't know how good you can see it, but that's basically saying that it's running off PV right now. And the little kind of extension cord head there, outlet connection, is saying that it does have AC connection. All right, so that's kind of the basic kind of layout mechanisms. So now we will go into kind of the cost of ownership and how much money it saved. All right, let's dig into the numbers. For those of you who don't like any math or calculations, you can just fast forward to the end here where I say the realistic payback time of this mini split, at least where I live in Arizona, it's about 2 years. Now, for those of you who like more analysis and math, let's dig into what I wrote on this whiteboard. So I tried to isolate just for air conditioning because I couldn't really go off the utility bill. I can go off the utility bill, kind of savings there, but there's a lot of different factors in the utility bill, like my pool pump, other kind of demand we were using at the time, and it's hard to just isolate the mini split kind of benefit. But what we can do is go based off of the air conditioning runtime, because essentially that's all that EG4 Mini Split is doing for me, is it's supplementing my central air conditioner. And so the thermostat that I have is a Sensi thermostat, and it can calculate for me the air conditioning runtime. And that's kind of what I'm gonna use as kind of the variable here, is my air conditioning runtime pre mini split and after the mini split. So pre the hybrid mini split, we would air condition our house with a 3.5 ton Goodman air conditioner that's sitting on the roof. And because I'm cheap, I would normally keep the air conditioner at about 81 degrees Fahrenheit. And even at a very, very uncomfortable 81 degrees Fahrenheit, the bills would still be $300 to $200 during the summer. And this difference here from 230 to 330 was primarily we changed from I think it's like an EG3 rate plan for SRP to a time of use plan. So just swapping out the time of use from a EG3 plan saved me about $100. There's a couple of things you have to like account for with the time of use plans, like demand charges. Like you could easily go over $300 if you're not careful with how you're using your electricity, but just that one shaved off about $100. And so if I were to keep the air conditioner thermostat at 72 degrees Fahrenheit, just using my central air conditioner, the bill would be well over $500, easily $500. Conservative is $500. I'm almost positive some months it would be like $600, $700. No problem. I could see that happening. That's the kind of amount of like runtime that you need to drop from 81 to 72. The air conditioner basically has to run like 24/7. At least here where I live, in the type of house that I have. The EG4 Hybrid Mini Split, I purchased on Signature Solar for $2,586. I installed this September 21st, 2024. And when I look at the EG4 Hybrid Mini Split kind of app, it says that I've used 2,539 kilowatt hours of solar in order to provide air conditioning. And if I use just simple math, 2,539 kilowatt hours times about 15 cents, which is the average cost of electricity around here for SRP, it is $380. So it doesn't seem like a lot, but that's just, if we're just using the amount of electricity that mini split has used, we'd come up with $380. Now let's go into what our kind of air conditioning run times are before the mini split and after the mini split. So I picked out some months here, the hotter months, June, July, August, and some of September. So before the mini split, the 3.5 ton central air conditioner, the Goodman, ran 247 hours during June. It ran 326 hours during July, 256 hours during August, and then 111 hours during September. So when I add all those 4 months up, the 3.5 ton Goodman ran 942 hours. And so when I multiply 942 hours by 4 kilowatts, that's what I measured. When this 3.5 ton air conditioner fires and turns on, it uses about 3,500 watts, 3.5 kilowatts. So in order to kind of calculate how much 942 hours cost to run, we multiply the hours this air conditioner ran by the amount of power it uses, 4 kilowatts. And when we do that, we get 3,768 kilowatt hours. Now, if we multiply this by about 15 cents, it cost $565 to run this air conditioner 942 hours. Now let's run down here to our 2025 Sensi numbers. So for June, the app said that the central air conditioner didn't turn on once. In July, it turned on for 79 hours. In August, it turned on for 105 hours. And then September, for some reason, it says it turned on 93 hours. And so the temperature during this time, again, was 81 degrees Fahrenheit because, I'm cheap. And at this time, I had to buy electricity. And the runtime after the mini split was 279 hours. And the house was at 72 degrees Fahrenheit because the mini split keeps the house comfortably at 72 degrees Fahrenheit, no problem. For most of the living spaces that we're at, the house is about 72 degrees Fahrenheit. So the runtime after the mini split is 279 hours. When we multiply it by what the actual air conditioner uses to power it, 4 kilowatts, we get 1,116 kilowatt hours. And when we multiply that by 15 cents, it's $167 to air condition our house for June, July, August, September. And let's keep in mind that the house is at 72 degrees Fahrenheit now. That's the power of the mini split here. The difference between the mini split, we were using 942 hours, 279 hours, and the difference is 662 hours less runtime from this 3.5 ton air conditioner, which is pretty awesome. It actually is saying that it's 70% less runtime. So if we calculate kind of our savings, it's 662 hours times 4 kilowatts, 2,651 kilowatt hours times 15 cents. We're saving $400 by not running this central air conditioner 662 hours. So a lot of the math that I did for this number here, the 942 hours, it's kind of not really a fair fight because the house is at 81 degrees Fahrenheit during this time. I just kind of chat GPT'd roughly, like, give me some conservative estimates of what it would cost based on all of the data that I inputted to get this 3.5 ton air conditioner. These were the figures it was giving me at 81 degrees Fahrenheit. I asked it to kind of give me similar percentages of what I would need to how much longer I would need to run the air conditioner. And conservatively, it said at the bare minimum, in order to keep the house at 72 degrees Fahrenheit, expect about a 40% increase in runtime. And then it said average is about 50%, and then a more aggressive kind of estimate is 60%. So if we were to keep our house at 72 degrees Fahrenheit, and all we did was use our 3.5 ton Goodman, the 942 hours, we multiplied it by 40%. I did write it down. 1,318 hours. I don't know why I put dollar signs here. So conservatively, ChatGPT is saying if we wanted to keep our house at 72 degrees Fahrenheit, it would require the air conditioner to run 1,318 hours, and then for the 50% more runtime, it was 1,413 hours, and for the more aggressive estimate, which I think this is the actual, just based on living here and knowing how much the air conditioner needs to run in order to cool the house, I think we're closer to like 60%. I think in order for this air conditioner to keep this house at 72 degrees Fahrenheit, I think it needs to run not 942 hours, not 1,318 hours, not 1,400. It probably needs to run 1,500 hours. And when we multiply 1,500 hours by, let's see here, 1,500 times 4 kilowatts, because that's what it takes to run that machine for 1 hour, we get 6,000 kilowatt hours. When we times 6,000 kilowatt hours by 15 cents, that's what it costs for electricity, we get $900. So this one here, what it would cost to actually keep our house at 72 degrees is about $900 for those 4 months. And so when I do kind of the payback period based off of kind of our figures of 81 degrees Fahrenheit, it's about 5 or 6 years to pay that mini split back. However, when you factor in that, the house is not at 81 degrees Fahrenheit, the house is at 72 degrees Fahrenheit. And in order to get the house at 72 degrees Fahrenheit from this 3.5 ton air conditioner, it's going to require a lot more electricity. And that's where the savings is. That's where the more comfortable your house is at 72, not 81. And so your savings is in this discrepancy here. Hopefully that made some sense. The realistic payback time, I believe, on these EG4 Hybrid Mini Splits, if you live somewhere where it's super hot and your electricity bills are $300, $400, $500, I think your payback time is probably like 2 years. If you're in a more milder climate, it might be 5 or 6 years. But then again, in Arizona, we really don't use the heater. So I really don't use the mini split for about half the year because it's a very cool climate here and you don't really need to turn on the heater. And if you live somewhere where you have to use the heater, then you would get the benefit of the heater on the hybrid mini split. And so maybe you would get a faster payback time because you're using it during the summer and the winter, where I really don't use it during the winter. I just use it more during the summer. All right, that's going to wrap this one up. I will just briefly mention that there's a couple things that I've bought on Facebook Marketplace, and hopefully we make some videos soon. I am not the biggest fan of 12-volt solar systems, but I found a really good deal on some stuff on Facebook Marketplace. And so we're going to make a 12-volt kind of modular system. Here's our 12-volt lithium battery. That's a Victron solar charge controller. Here is I think this is a Renogy 3000 watt inverter. And then we got just some battery cables. I think that is a DC to DC converter. And then what else do we got in here? We got a shunt, and then I think a fuse. So if you want to see more of 12-volt solar systems, stick around. Hopefully I can make a little series on how we put this together. All right, it's gonna wrap this one up. I will catch you guys on the next one.